fun and a little bit of a different type of video. I'm going to be bringing you along for a makeover on my little white hutch. So if you have been watching my channel for a while, then you probably know the hutch that I'm talking about. I've had it since 2019. It was a Facebook Marketplace find, and when I originally got it, we went and picked it up, it was already painted black. So we did a farmhouse style makeover on it where we painted it white and then sanded off the top to have a beautiful wood finish, and that is how that hutch has been ever since, and I absolutely love it. It's a really special piece to me because it was my first hutch, and I just love the style of it and all of the details on it. I just really love that piece. So I knew that I for sure wanted to keep it once we got that new hutch gifted to us. I knew I wanted that huge hutch right here on this wall because that was going to be the best place for that, but I knew I didn't want to get rid of my other little white hutch, and I was going to need to find a new home for it. So we did move it in the dining room, but it didn't quite fit with the table horizontally in that room. It's like a rectangle wooden table that we have. So in order to make it fit, we had to do a little bit of rearranging. So we turned the kitchen table to a vertical way where it's like long ways this way in the room, and then the hutch ended up fitting perfectly back in that corner. You can walk all the way around the table. We tried it straight on the wall that the mirror's on. We tried it on the left side of the window and the right side of the window, and it ended up looking the absolute best on that right side of the window if you're facing in the room, where that other little cabinet was that I used to have. It ended up working perfectly there where we have the most room. It makes the most sense there, and it's the biggest statement right there. We had that hutch on every wall and in every corner, and we finally landed on that, and it was perfect for the space. And also the way the table's facing now gives us so much more space in that room. I can't believe we hadn't done that already, but it just looks so much bigger in there. I absolutely love it. But I kept walking past that room and thinking there's something missing. It was just missing charm and character and you know, a cozy feeling. It just kind of felt very stark. I'll try to insert a before clip or a before picture of the room. Everything was very white and plain, which I do love a good neutral space, absolutely, but I also love that cottage style character that I'm trying to incorporate, that I really feel like this hutch brought into the space so much in my little wooden trunk. And I just felt like it needed color and it just needed more to the space. So I went back and forth on a few different things, and I finally decided I wanted to give my little white hutch a makeover. So I ended up just going to our local Ace Hardware. I went through all the different paint samples and the little swatches, and I just picked out the one that I felt like gave that most cottage blue type of look. And it's kind of like this muted like gray blue, but it's not too gray. It's just like this very classic like historical color blue, which is exactly what I was wanting. And this is called American Spirit. This is by Clark and Kensington. So I am super excited. I'm gonna bring you all along for the process and share with you how the hutch turns out. Here are a few before clips of the hutch, and you can probably tell in these clips what I meant by everything looking so plain. To me, it just felt like everything kind of looked like it was all one color and it all blended together. So this is why I was wanting a change and what inspired me to do this project. Okay, I did a little strip to test it, and we're gonna let it dry and see how it looks. But so far, I'm really loving it. Like I said in the beginning, this paint is called American Spirit by Clark and Kensington. It's just what our local Ace Hardware had. We got it in the satin color. I just went through and looked at all of the different paint swatches and chose the one that I thought had that most cottage type of blue look to it. I wanted something that just felt very like English cottage, French cottage blue. So I ended up doing 2 full coats on this and then a 3rd coat in some areas that just needed a little more coverage. And then for the hardware, I went back and forth between a few different things. I kind of wanted like a gold type of hardware for this piece, so I bought a few different ones and tried them out, and none of it fit the hutch as good as just this original hardware did that was already on this hutch. I just felt like that went with the piece the best, and everything else just kind of looked too modern and it took away that cottage feel. So we actually ended up sanding down the original hardware. It had like a black paint over it, and it had this really pretty like bronze look underneath the black, and I was so excited. So once we sanded that off, then I took just a little bit of gold like rub and buff and just buffed it over the handles and the hinges, and it turned out this beautiful like brass / gold beautiful look. And I feel like it really brings out that like English country cottage kind of look, and I'm super thankful that ended up working out and that we were able to still use the original hardware with just a little bit of TLC to them. Here's how the little blue hutch turned out. I am so in love. I know this might not be for everyone, and that is perfectly okay, but I really just feel like it is what this room needed, and I feel like it brought it to life in here. I can't describe how like bright and cheery that it feels, but yet it also has like that cozy cottage feel at the same time, which is exactly what I was wanting to bring in. So this is everything I'm going to be using to decorate the hutch, and then we're also going to be decorating the rest of the room as well and giving it like a refresh for spring, using some pieces that I recently thrifted and some things that I've had and collected over the years. So I'm going to bring you along for the process as we decorate everything. Okay, here's everything I'm going to be using to set the table with. I've shared several of these things recently in a haul. And then some stuff I've had for a while, and then also there's a few new things that I haven't shared yet, but I'm going to be sharing in future hauls. So these pink napkins right here, I did share recently, back around like the beginning of February, I believe. I was going to use these for like Valentine's Day, but I'm actually just going to be using them for spring because they match with a lot of my other little pink dishes and things. And then I hauled these recently in a big dish haul that I did, and I'm going to be using those on the table. I found those at Goodwill. I've had these for years. I love to use these on a tablescape. These little paper plate holders, and those were from Salvation Army years ago. And then these plates were thrifted from just different thrift stores. I actually collected them all at different times. Each one of them are a little bit different of a design, but they all have these delicate little pink flowers, and I think they are just so sweet, and I just feel like they will look super pretty all mixed matched. And then I found some of these beautiful pink taper candles, and I just think they will be so sweet on the table as well, and some of these little crystal candlestick holders. And then the tulips are from Amazon a few years ago, and then this big bowl was a recent Goodwill bins find. And I love how the blue flowers on here match the blue hutch. I think it's so cute. So I think that ties in the blue well. And then I have this really big ironstone pitcher that I've had for years that I'll probably put in that and put the flowers in, and then we will set everything else. I also forgot to mention that these little napkin rings were a recent thrift find as well. They're this beautiful brass color, and I'm going to use those around those pink napkins. Next, we're going to decorate this little antique table I have here in the corner, and you've probably seen this table on my channel if you have been watching for a few years. I've had it for a long time, and it had this like really thick veneer shiny top coat on it. It was like a very dark wood color, and it was starting to chip and crack off, and it just looked really bad. I did not like it. So a recent project that we worked on was taking off that veneer top coat and exposing the beautiful wood that was underneath it, and it really ties in with the table well and matches it. I just love that beautiful natural wood, and I'm gonna add to it some thrifted garden books and some more of those little pink taper candles. This beautiful painting is another recent Salvation Army find, and I'm super excited to see how it looks in this room. I'm gonna hang it over here on this wall above our little table that we just refinished, and I think it's gonna look pretty here and really tie in with like the colors of this room. And I'm gonna be sharing this too in a haul video soon, because I have 2 different hauls coming up that I've already filmed, but I was working on this video first. So we're gonna decorate in here first, and then y'all will see a few of these pieces in my upcoming hauls. But I have a huge Goodwill bins haul coming soon, because we went there for the first time ever over the weekend, and it was a huge success. So that video is coming soon. And then also just a regular spring thrift with me, where I found this painting and some other really pretty spring pieces. So stay tuned for all of that. But very excited about this little painting. I was doing some research on it, and it's actually by a really famous artist, and I'll talk more about that in the haul video. But absolutely in love with these flowers and all of the colors in this painting, and it was already in this gorgeous gold frame. So now let's get this hung above this table. I absolutely love how the tablescape turned out, but I kept feeling like it kind of needed a pop of blue over near the table as well, because we had a lot of blue accents going on in the rest of the space, and it was kind of just missing that color to really tie it in to the rest of the room. So I added these little blue pillows here. I obviously wouldn't keep them here if we were gonna, be eating here and things like that, but just for the video and to style the rest of the space, I added those there to bring over that blue tone. I felt like it really tied the table together with the rest of the space after I did that. So this is how the room turned out. I hope that you all liked seeing this dining room transformation and refreshing the space for spring. Another new item that I added to this space was we found this vintage chandelier at a little antique store, and it was so affordable. I have not been able to find one. I have looked for so long to find an affordable, like, actual vintage chandelier. This one was only $40, which I feel like was such a good deal because they are so expensive, and the one that I had here previously worked for the time being, but it was really way too large for the space. You can see it in my Christmas home tour. It was a really big, massive chandelier, kind of made for a room with maybe really tall ceilings and like a huge open concept room. But for this little room, I really wanted to find like one of those dainty vintage chandeliers, so I was so excited when we stumbled across this one and my husband put it up, and I had those little crystals left over from just another light fixture that we had previously, and I hung those on there, and I think they added the perfect little touch. And I'm so excited, like I said, that I finally found a true vintage small little chandelier for this space. I love the clear crystal detail in it too on the actual fixture itself in the middle. I'll give you a close-up of it here in just a second, but I think that is such a pretty detail. I just love those old pieces like that just have so much character. It really adds a lot of charm to your home. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much if you watched all the way through and made it till the end. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed coming along for the process as I brought my blue cottage hutch vision to life. I'm so in love with this piece. I'm so thankful it turned out. I feel so much happiness every time I walk into this room now and see this beautiful pop of color. It not only freshened and brightened this room, but it also really added in like that cozy feel, which is exactly what I was going for everything to not be so stark and kind of all one dimension. It added dimension, it added color, and just a beautiful pop to this room that I'm so thankful for, and I'm just so excited about it. I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already, and join us here for more really fun videos like this one coming up soon, and more thrifting and decorating. With spring coming up, I have so many ideas I'm excited to share, so I hope you will stay tuned and join us here for all of that type of content on this channel, and I will see you all in my very next one.